ਹੈਲੋ, ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਹੋਣਾ ਆ ਜੀ ਆਮੀਰ ਅਖਤਰ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ, ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਿਸਟ। ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ? ਲਾਈਵ ਰੂਮ 'ਚ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਐਡ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ, ਮੇ ਬੀ ਇੱਥੋਂ। ਐਂਡ ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕਰਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। ਹੋਰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਜੀ ਸਾਰੇ? ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਭਰਾਵਾ? ਵਧੀਆ ਵਧੀਆ ਬਰੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਾਓ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ? ਬੜੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਲਾਈਵ ਆਏ ਅੱਜ।
Hi,
ਹੈਲੋ
how are you?
ਸਰ, ਹਾਊ ਆਰ ਯੂ?
Not bad yourself?
ਆਈ ਐਮ ਗੁੱਡ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਗੁੱਡ।
Haven't
ਹੋਰ
seen you couple days. बस ठीक ठाक है ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਾਓ?
ਸਭ ਠੀਕ ਠਾਕ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਆਣੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆ।
ठीक है, मैं पूरी कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि that I can
ਹਾਂਜੀ
answer the questions
ਹਾਂਜੀ
well.
ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਹਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਹੀ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਰੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਾਓ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ? ਠੀਕ ਸਭ?
ਹਾਲ
ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ
ਚਾਲ
ਇਜ਼ ਗੁੱਡ?
ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਠੀਕ ਠਾਕ ਨੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਨੇ?
ਸਭ ਵਧੀਆ। ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡਾ ਭਰਾ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਿਹਾ VFS ਇਜ਼ ਕਲੋਜ਼ਡ। VFS
VFS ਕਿੱਥੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ?
ਆਮ ਨਾਟ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਚ। ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਰਾਈਟ?
VFS ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। VFS are international stations that are independent contracted companies that
ਅੱਛਾ
contracts for embassies to facilitate documentation and submission, right? So the VFSs are not in Canada, they're only outside Canada. Jo main dekhiya kiya bande kiya khule ne, it depends on the country you're in. It all depends on the VFS center. It all depends on what their internal policy guidelines are. Immigration Canada is not the one governing them.
ਓਕੇ, ਵਨ ਮੋਰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ। ਅਪਡੇਟ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੀਂ। Ontario ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਬੰਦ।
They just closed it today, terminated the entry of international students. This was on the request of the Ontario Premier.
Yeah, Ontario government.
Yeah, as of yesterday, the Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, he requested the federal government of Canada and requested Trudeau to stop the international students from entering Canada to stop the spread of COVID-19. Do I full out agree with it? Look, on my side of things, no, I don't, because this is my life, this is my livelihood. But I can see the overall reasoning behind it and why the government of Canada is doing so. But yes, international students, we do apologize. I apologize on behalf of my government for restricting your access into the country. You are the heart of the country, the heart of the nation.
Right.
But the very fact of the matter is that as of right now, yeah, they have, as of this morning, the federal government has stopped the entry of international students. I believe it's a moratorium, so it's going to be it's not like, for life. It's going to be for a certain amount of time.
One more thing, PNP is open now, right, for Ontario?
Ontario PNP, there has been no notification that they've cut it or closed it. It is open. They are accepting applications. What I would suggest is that it's going to be a more lengthy process. Everybody in Canada, especially the government offices, are working from home, including pretty much most of us as well, right here in the country. We're all under lockdown at this particular moment. So yes, they are taking applications. Just keep in mind that it may take a while for the processing to be done.
And here is one question from Rubal Chavda. You can see. Is that possible to be on work permit in visitor visa after a visitor visa?
Okay, so here's something you have to understand. These are all under the TRP classification, temporary resident visa. Sorry, TRV's classification, temporary resident visas. So there are three categories: visitor, worker, student. If you're coming to Canada as a visitor, the visitor itself cannot work, but what you can do, if possible, if you do get a job offer in Canada or an opportunity, you can file for a request of change of conditions from visitor status to worker. That can be done via paper application inside Canada, and you can have it converted, but you must meet the criteria in order to do that, meaning you have a valid labor market impact assessment, or you're LMIA exempted in an LMIA exempted category.
Okay. And कोई पूछ रहा है ओटावा किद्दां दी सिटी आ अगर स्टडी ਲਈ ਜਾਣਾ?
Ottawa is the capital of the nation. It's a beautiful city. See, Ontario is broken up into two. Toronto is the capital of Ontario. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Parliament is there. It's a nice city. I've been there a few times. I didn't mind it. I liked it.
A few days back, I studied somewhere, like I read somewhere, कि most boring city है Ottawa.
Well, you know what the thing is with Ottawa, जितने sort of politicians होंगे ना, it's not going to be the most fun city, right?
Right, right.
These things close early, but if you're looking to come here and educate and be serious, you'd rather be in a boring city than a fun and party city. But let me tell you, as of right now, the entire Canada is boring. Nothing is open.
ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ
ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਲੰਡਨ ਆਂਟੈਰੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੋਣੀ there's nothing to London Ontario
ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਲਾਸਟ ਸਮਰਸ ਵੀ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਗਈਆਂ ਲਾਸਟ ਸਮਰਸ ਥੋੜਾ ਫਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ
ਥੋੜੀ ਜੀ ਫਿਰ ਲਾਕਡਾਊਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ this is what we're ਅਸੀਂ ਯਾਰਾ ਦੋਸਤ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਨੇ ਐਂ ਜੀ on the video
and ਆਪਣਾ ਕੀ ਨਾਮ ਟਰਕਿੰਗ ਚ ਪੀਆਰ Ontario ਟਰਕਿੰਗ ਚ ਪੀਆਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ
Ontario trucking to PR now if see the truck drivers, I don't believe there's a select program specific for truck drivers. Now, under this new interim pathway program for individuals who are present in Canada and have a valid work permit and are driving the trucks, come one, come all, you'll accept 30,000 applications on that basis, but there is no specific program geared towards truckers in Ontario. I believe in other provinces they would have it. Like Saskatchewan, PEI, Manitoba. In those provinces, you can go through the PNP program as a truck driver, but I don't believe Opportunities Ontario has a specific program geared towards truck drivers.
Okay. How much time it will take if we apply on work permit instead of study visa? Can we apply work permit directly from?
You can apply for a work permit as long as you meet the criteria. And the main criteria, I'm going to talk in very general terms, is that you have a valid job offer. The valid job offer means it's a labor market impact assessment, a positive labor market impact assessment issued by Social Development Canada. Be very, very careful. Jo sade prava je India de vich hege ne, jo sade prava Pakistan de vich hege ne, bade agent uthe baithe pe ne, tonu keh rahe ne ki sanu inne lakh rupiya de diyo, assi tonu work permit dalwa lange. Be very, very, very careful of that. Number one, I'm going to let you know that it is illegal to request money for a job offer. That's not allowed. That's not.
ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਈਏ ਸਰ ਨਾਲ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਛੇਤੀ ਮੇਬੀ ਟੁਮਾਰੋ or tonight ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ LMA ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਬਹੁਤ right.
Yeah, and that video is going to also be on my friend's channel, and we're going to have that on our YouTube channel as well, called Let's Talk Immigration. Both of us did speak very extensively about that. Just be very careful if you are looking to get an agent involved in facilitating your work visa.
Right, and without biometric, our file will not be processed because here in India, VFS is closed. So yeah, VFS is closed in India, and ਉਹਦੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਫਾਈਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਪਾਂ process ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ right.
It will be paused. Yeah, without a biometrics, your file will not move forward. I can tell you that.
ਮੇਰੇ ਹਜੇ ਤੱਕ biometric ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ ਦੇਖੋ
ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ
no ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ biometric ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ then ਮੈਂ study permit ਵਾਪਸ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਚਾਰਜ ਕਰਤਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੀਸ ਪਰ biometric ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ work permit 'ਚ ਵੀ ਫੀਸ ਚਾਰਜ ਕੀਤੀ biometric ਦੀ ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ
ਲੇਕਿਨ biometrics ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ
no ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆਂ ਇਹ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਹੈ ਸਮੀਰ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ +2 ਗ੍ਰੇਡ 47% ਨੇ so can they apply for study visa?
Say that again. His grades are what?
He is having 47% in his +2 grade.
+2, 47%. So in Canada, you got less than 50%. You failed. So I don't think you'll be a good candidate in any case.
In India, we need 33% to be passed.
Okay, so then 40-something% would what put you in the CD category in +2?
Yeah, few college, कई college है क्या जो accept कर लेते हैं. Yeah.
I mean, depend on. They can be careful with the college, right? The lower level colleges who are going to accept you, right? Those colleges may not be DLIs. They may not be able to get you onwards to a PGP, right? So just because certain colleges are willing to accept you, that's what you should be wary about, right? You don't want to be going to the colleges that accept one come all. Because they may not get you anywhere. You may come here, spend thousands of dollars, and then what? End up going back to it.
या वर्क परमिट मिलना नहीं फिर, राइट?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they are not having DLI number ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ work permit ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ।
I mean, DLI, KM colleges DLI भी हैं, again, but they don't
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
qualify for
yeah,
PGWP.
they are
So
not under SDS.
exactly, and the colleges are there to market and make money, right? They are the smallest colleges. You'll come to Canada and you'll realize it's a one classroom. It's just a one room, right? And then there are big, huge colleges that are public. I always advise the students, if you want to be successful in Canada, get yourself enrolled in a public institution. The degrees have value. You'll be more competitive in the job market, and you'll onward yourself to permanent residency. Do not come here to do simple certificates and diplomas. Degrees are the way to go. That's how you will achieve the point system according to the laws of today.
What are the chances of reopen of borders?
Right? I mean, my thing is tomorrow. I mean, what are the chances? You want my personal, I cannot give you, like, you know, the government, but my personal opinion is they're going to have to be open sooner or later. They're not going to let the country go bankrupt. They can have Jasra in my video, like I told you yesterday, and please, everybody, join into both our YouTube channels to watch the video. We don't know, right? It's a system that we don't know what's going on. The economics are terrible, but I mean, the government is eventually going to have to do something. If you would have asked me March 2020, ke saal tak borders band hoegi, I would have said never. The country can't afford it. But it's happened, so how long it's going to be, we don't know. Will they reopen? I'm sure they will.
So, कुछ नहीं कह सकते, right?
कोई भी कुछ साडा प्राइम मिनिस्टर नहीं कह सकता और कोई कह सकता।
या सारे क्वेश्चंस ज्यादातर आई आ रहे हैं कि ओंटारियो कਦੋਂ ओपन करूंगा इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट्स, मे बी एक मंथ तक बंद रहूगा मिनिमम।
भाई उन्होंने आज बंद किया, राइट?
हाँ जी,
ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 2 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ 6 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ। You want to ask me my personal opinion? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ September ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ। They don't want the rush of students in the September intake. That's what I think. So if you guys are thinking to pay your fees and all that for September, you're more than likely going to be joining online.
Okay. How much time it will take to get work permit? Kinna processing time? Any idea?
आजकल look, in the old days, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 3 ਤੋਂ 6 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, right? ਤੇ ਕਈ ਲੋਕੀ 30 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, 40 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ। These days, it's nobody knows, right? But I will suggest keep 4 to 6 months, even as long as 8 months in mind.
ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਣਾਈ ਉਹ ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਟਿਵ ਵੀਡੀਓ, ਆਪਾਂ ਪੀਆਰ ਦੇ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ, ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦ ਹੋਇਆ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਰੂਟਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ, ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੀਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ ਆਏ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਅਪਲੋਡ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ ਅੱਜ ਰਾਤੀ ਆ ਕੱਲ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਕੱਲ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ, ਇੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਰਾਤ ਅੱਜ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਿਓ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲ ਜੂਗਾ ਪੀਆਰ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਹਨਾ।
Your previous question, the announcement made by the PMO recently is that it's going to be temporarily closed international.
Yeah, right, temporarily. ਹਾਂਜੀ, and ਆਪਾਂ ਆ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦਈਏ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਫਿਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਲਾਈਵ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਚ ਦੱਸ ਦਈਏ।
So in Canada, in the province of Ontario, I have my law office in Mississauga, in the heart of Mississauga, in Malton, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇਸੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਮਾਲਟਨ ਗੁਰੂਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਫਿਸ। ਐਂਡ ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਪੀਆਰ ਲਈ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਓ, ਐਂਡ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਆਪੇ ਕਰਾ ਦੇਣਗੇ। ਮੇਰੀ ਕਰਵਾਤੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹਨਾ ਕੱਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ, ਜੋ ਹੈ ਨਿਊ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਲਈ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਨੰਬਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗਾ, ਮੈਂ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਪਾਉਂਗਾ ਲਾਈਵ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨੰਬਰ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ WhatsApp ਕਰ ਲਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੁਆਇਰੀ ਹੈ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ WhatsApp ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਜਾਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਲਓ, ਐਂਡ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਲੀਵ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ। ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰਿਪਲਾਈ ਜਲਦੀ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗਾ।
Yeah, and just to answer your question, I'm on Drew Road, 2985 Drew Road, Mississauga, Ontario. On the second floor, unit 212 and 213. I'm also located in London, Ontario, on Oxford Road, 1193 Oxford Road, London, Ontario. We're also internationally present. We have an office in Nairobi on Lower Kabete Road, and we are also in Vietnam in Ho Chi Minh City as well.
Okay, so Sanika College कितना है? You know something about Sanika? Sanika College कितना है?
Okay, Seneca College is a public college. It's publicly funded. It is a DLI. They have access to the PGWP. They are a well reputable institution. If that's a looking at, I would suggest that that's a good one. Yes.
So ethic.
Healthcare professions. My advice to anybody that wants to come as an international student, the trend is healthcare. Come in healthcare.
Yeah, healthcare, right?
That's the
Healthcare trend apps.
PSWs, X-ray technicians, nurses, come one, come all. I would suggest going forward, immigration-wise, if you want to have a good future in Canada, I would suggest the trend is going in the healthcare professions, not as a, don't get me wrong, not doctors. They're not really, doctors are always needed, don't get me wrong, but they're looking for the administrative back-end staff. That is the heart of the medical profession, and that's what they're looking for. PSWs, nurses, nurse practitioners, the RNs, medical examiners, all of these people are needed, paramedics. This is where the trend is going right now. So if you want to come to Canada as a student, I would suggest try to get it in the healthcare program.
So there is question why I refused 2 times with overall 6 and 5.5 in module. What should I do?
You were refused your student visa?
Yeah, student visa, study visa.
If you were refused your student visa twice, what I would suggest is probably, looking over the refusal letter, seeing why it is. If there is anything there that is, a reviewable error at law, maybe try to redirect a letter of explanation, a letter of demands to the immigration program manager of the embassy who assisted. Try another application with a detailed submission. It's always best to have legal representation when doing that. And try to have them overturn the decision. If that doesn't work on the 3rd attempt, then go for judicial review to the federal court.
Okay, so अगला आया question. PCC कितने देर लिए valid होती है?
PCC 1 year.
1 year, right? So क्योंकि कई students पूछ रहे हैं in future ਸਾਨੂੰ PCC चाहिए ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਲੈ आइए. So it will be valid for only 1 year ਤੇ ਹੁਣੇ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ. Right?
Yeah, and we also spoke about that in detail in the video session.
In the video, yeah. What about jobs? Jobs ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਹੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਅਗਰ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਅਗਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਇੱਕ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਨਾ, if we are coming to Canada, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਲਾਈਨ ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ if ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਲਾਈਨ ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਜੈਸਟ ਕਰੋਗੇ?
Frontline workers, right? The frontline workers. I do anticipate. Now, this is don't think this is not like a core program as of today, but I do anticipate truck drivers, individuals who are in the food chain industry, like assisting in the food chain market, people who are promoting. Look, as of right now in Canada, we have the whole frontline worker. So anybody that's working with public seems to be a high demand occupation, right? Working with elderly, working in the supply chain, working in the transporting industry, working in healthcare, right? Aside from that, look, jo bhi tusi karna chahte ho, you're going to have to be in love with it, right? You have to go with what you want in life. Jobs are always needed. As of right now, obviously we're going through an economic downturn, but my advice is that, look, whatever you're doing, do it with the right mindset, with the right vision, and ensure that if you're coming to Canada as a student, complete your program, study, get good grades. That is the only way you're going to achieve PR.
Okay, so next question appa ECCE, early childhood education, ਕਿਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੋਰਸ ਆ ECCE? Teachers
will definitely be in demand. Those are also frontline workers, right? Teachers are in highly vulnerable sectors. They're dealing with the young children, and these are the areas where people are being infected a lot as well. So I can see that being a demand occupation in the future. Yeah.
Should we come for degree or masters? Which is more beneficial?
Apply kar sakte ho. If you do get accepted into a master's program, there is a stream in the province of Ontario that you can directly apply for permanent residency through the master's or PhD stream. So if you can get accepted in the province of Ontario through a master's stream, then you have a direct route to PR.
What courses are best for PR?
Like we just explained, we just went over. And then I would also suggest join into our video, join into our channels, and hopefully these questions will also be constantly raised and constantly answered. But look, like I said, education, comfort, degrees is what's going to get you to permanent residency. Healthcare professionals is the way to go.
So ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਸਾਰੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਮੌਂਟਰੀਅਲ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਕਿਊਬੈਕ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬਟ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਮੌਂਟਰੀਅਲ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ? ਉੱਥੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਕਾਲਜ ਬੈਨ ਕਰਤੇ ਆ।
Quebec is a great province, right? Just know one thing: if you're going to be going to the province of Quebec, it is a French-speaking nation. It's a French-speaking province, so I mean, French is just generally needed to get on with society. People do live there. Don't get me wrong. I don't practice Quebec immigration law, but there are vast amounts of programs available there, and please feel free to check them out.
So if कोई college अपनी fees refund ਆਪਾਂ apply ਕੀਤਾ ਆ and 4 month ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਥੱਲੇ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ so fees ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ what can they do next step ਕੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ
Contact my office. We can send them out a letter of demands. If they are in the province of Ontario, what I would suggest is, like, look, colleges, they're going to try to withhold your money, especially private colleges.
right
They will definitely try to withhold your money. You got to understand, private colleges are not under the same scrutiny as public colleges, right? And they're a business on their own, and they're looking for their revenues, right?
right
If it's in the province of Ontario, you're having an issue getting your fees back, what I would suggest is, not only do I operate Akhtar Immigration, I also operate a law firm, which is Akhtar and Associates Legal Services. They're with the exact same offices. The phone number is the same province of Ontario. I'll take care of them for you. Outside the province of Ontario, if it's been a while, they're not communicating, I would suggest get legal representation.
it's in Quebec Montreal's कोई college है so they are not giving fees back
You'll have to find legal representation in the province of Quebec. That would be my advice. More than likely, if it's been 4 months, I mean, keep pressuring them, but for how long? Generally speaking, when they get the legal writ from the law office, then people tend to move, right?
कोई best college अपने Ontario ਦੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਆ Ontario's best college or universities
Well, look, I myself, not only have I gone to university, I've also graduated a college, so I'm going to talk about my alumni. That's Humber College. It's a beautiful college. I graduated from there with great esteem. I think my wife even graduated from there at one point. So,
so Humber College
yeah,
what else university ਕਿਹੜੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ
well, I mean, look, can I really speak to all the universities in the province of Ontario or the country of Canada, right? Generally speaking, our universities, they're high end. We have our prestigious schools, right? University of Toronto, highly prestigious school. You have University of Western, very prestigious school. You have Waterloo University, a highly prestigious school, right? So these are some of the most prestigious schools, and then there are other universities like Ryerson, York University, and all of them, which are also prestigious, right? And even all the other colleges, don't get me wrong, I'm saying Humber College just because I'm an alumnus from there, or even Windsor University. But at the end of the day, our publicly regulated and registered universities and colleges fall under the same guidelines, right? So the education here is pretty good. If you look at Canada on the world map where education is concerned, we're up there, we're high up there. And I would suggest all of our educational institutions in Canada provide a good education.
Going to Nova Scotia as an international student.
Excellent.
Or not?
Excellent choice. Nova Scotia is a province that's looking for population. They have a number of opportunities available for individuals who educate, work, and reside, and have a future intent to reside in the province of Nova Scotia. So I would suggest that that's a good idea.
So, कुछ student who deport हो गए see because they were working on cash. So, अगर कोई deport हो जाता है, right? So,
I'm glad you bring that up. I specialize in deportation matters. I specialize in refugees and appeals. Again, I'm going to encourage everybody, watch our videos, tune into our YouTube channels. Like I said, we're announcing our new YouTube channel, which is Let's Talk Immigration. My friend's channel has been around and he's highly popular. But please tune into both our channels to watch the video. But where deportations are concerned, everything is case specific. Everything is case by case, right? If you've been caught working here illegally, that puts you under a Section 44 report under the Immigration Refugee Protection Act, which thereby deems you inadmissible to Canada. If you've already left the country and you've already been deported and put on a flight back, I can tell you it's extremely difficult to ever come back now. If you're in the country and you're facing deportation, give me a call. Tell me what your case is. I can only advise on a case-by-case basis. Okay?
So, I have one friend.
So,
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਦੱਸਣਾ PR ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਬਟ ਕੁਝ ਗਲਤ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਡਿਪੋਰਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਗਈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਪੂਰਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਬਟ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਨੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਾਫੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ
they sent him a procedural fairness letter. Has Immigration Canada given him the opportunity to respond to the documentation that he submitted?
Yes, ਉਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ nothing happened ਮਤਲਬ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਡਨ ਹਨਾ, ਬਟ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਇਲੀਗਲੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, ਥੋੜੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਜੀ, ਸੋ ਮੇ ਬੀ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਲੀਵ ਕਰ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਸੋ
Let me tell you something before he decides to leave the soil of Canada. Tell him to give me a call, right? These types of situations, it's very hard to advise publicly, right? And
right.
steps that we may have to take or not have to take, this is independent legal counsel that needs to be given on a case-by-case basis. Every case is different. Everybody's stories are different. And I'll tell you, I'm very honest. Where I believe there is no hope for you, I tell you myself, go back home, save your money, because you're going to need it there. लेकिन जिथे ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ chance ਹੈਗਾ ਔਰ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ, it's worth fighting it. लेकिन जिथे नहीं हैगा नहीं हैगा, that I'll tell you
Right.
wholehearted. लेकिन जिथे small chance भी होएगी और ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ, it's worth fighting for it. But in that scenario, I would say get independent legal counsel for me, give me a call, set up a consultation.
ਸੋ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕਿ ਆਮਿਰ ਜੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਬੋਨ ਆ, ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਵੀਕ ਆ, that's why he's speaking in English.
English weak नहीं हैगा, पंजाबी weak है.
Oh, I'm sorry. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਵੀਕ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਬਟ ਕਾਫੀ ਘੱਟ। ਐਂਡ ਚਲੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ?
I'll give you my background. It's a very funny story.
Right.
ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਲਿਦ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਦੇ ਵਾਲ ਸੀ, he's from Pakistan, right?
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
And my mother is from East Africa, Uganda, right?
Okay.
In एक चीज आप, my grandfather, मेरे father के father, वो भी East Africa ਦਾ ਹੈगा, he's from Kenya. So
Okay.
they went back to Pakistan after the partition, right? And so we're actually East African and Pakistani at the same time.
ਓਕੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਚ ਹੀ ਸੀ। ਮੇਰੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਜੀ he was 5 year old ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਆਏ ਸੀ, ਜਦ ਪਾਰਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ।
ਵਾਹ ਤੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਲੋਧਿਆਣਾ, like Niagara, prior to the partition ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੱਕ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕ ਵੱਲ ਆਏ ਸੀ। I've been to the Guru Nanak Darbar. It was an amazing experience. I felt very, it was really nice. So ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜੋ ਜਲਸਾ ਜੋ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, I've seen it myself and it was a great experience.
Okay, and next thing is experience, ਆਪਣਾ work experience ਕੀ ਆ past ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ immigration law ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ, right?
Yes.
And ਤੁਸੀਂ as a teacher ਵੀ ਸੀਗੇ?
I've been a professor for 5 years. Many professionals have graduated from my classroom. I've been practicing immigration law for the past 15 years. I think I have handled way above 2,000 cases. I don't think that there is a specific case in immigration that I have not touched, attempted. I have not submitted, filed. I have not appealed, challenged, litigated, except for the new programs that are about to come out and unveiled. This is my life. I've been doing this since I was a kid, and now my hair is going gray just doing this work.
Yorkville University ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਆ for international students?
Yorkville University, like I said, it's a public registered university. Any university which I say is publicly registered, DLI, with the government funding, I would not say anything bad about it.
So question is, cabinet maker can apply in new PR program?
I think so, yes. Construction worker, trade. So the interim pathway, let's speak about that very quickly right now. They're going to accept 90,000 candidates. This week, the program is going to unveil on May 6th, right? So it's going to be 30,000 in the medical healthcare profession, 20,000 in the in-demand occupations. And what I can see in that in Annex B, they're annexed as Annex A, Annex B. Annex A is the healthcare professionals. Annex B are the in-demand professions. And trades are big in that. Construction, electricians, plumbers, all of these, the trades programs is big, truck drivers, all of these types of things. So trades is what we're looking at mainly, okay? Aside from that, the international graduate stream, they're going to accept 40,000 applications. All you are required to have is your successful completion of the program that you studied after January 2017, on or after January 2017, you must have a valid work permit and employed. I haven't seen in the program or the internal policy unleashed by the Ministry of Immigration any specific job that you have to be in, but a requirement will be that you have to be employed at the time of application. Okay? The only advice I can give everybody right now, go get your criminal record checks done. get your IELTS done. You need a minimum 5 under the international graduate stream in each of the categories, and you're going to need a minimum of 4 in the in-demand occupations, whether healthcare or not. Okay, go get those booked, go get those done. Anybody who has them in hand May 6th, and they will be ahead of everyone else.
Which province is best if we are coming as international student?
Pardon me?
Best province to come to Canada as international student?
I live in the province of Ontario, but I'll tell you, everybody thinks the 3 big provinces, BC, Ontario, Quebec, Montreal.
Yeah,
and
right.
people don't even think the province. People think Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal.
Right.
Let me tell you, the days of these provinces, they're gone. We're overpopulated. The work, employment, all these things, the immigration opportunities are become limited here. You want to come study? Go to the Atlantic provinces. Go out to BC. Go out to Prince Edward Island. Go out to Nova Scotia. Go out to Manitoba. These provinces have internal PNP programs for individuals who come, complete their studies, work for a year, and reside in their province to become permanent residences. They need population. And there's going to be, I think, more and more opportunities in these provinces going forward. Not only that, these provinces that we live in now, the 3 big ones, Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. Montreal, not so much, but Vancouver, Toronto, Edmonton. Look, housing prices through the roof, very expensive. Cost of living, extremely expensive. To get a room, these things, groceries, everything is more expensive out here. Now, if you look outside these provinces and grow our other provinces, our Atlantic provinces, the prairies, these provinces, the cost of living is less. You'll be able to economically establish yourself faster, and you'll be able to, get into your first home faster, start your family faster. And there are more and more opportunities happening there. I believe even for the entrepreneurs who are outside of this country and want to come and, educate themselves, work, gain some experience, and go into self-employment or business, I think you will have a better chance doing it outside the main cities of Canada.
Right. So, ਮਨਜਿੰਦਰ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਬਾਈ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਾਈ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਕਿ ਪੱਗ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੀ ਤੇ ਪੱਗ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ
ਸਾਡੇ ਪੱਗ ਬੜਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ
ਓਕੇ ਜੀ ਓਕੇ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਐਂਡ ਆਪਣੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਮੈਂ ਇਸੇ ਚੱਕਰ ਚ ਭੁੱਲ ਗਿਆ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਫਲਾਈਟਸ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਹੀ ਲਈ ਫਲਾਈਟਸ ਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਦੋਂ ਓਪਨ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਰਾਈਟ
Yeah, temporarily they're closed as of right now.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ AIPP Atlantic Province ਵਾਲਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ
The Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, it's a wonderful program, right? Again, मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ, be very careful of the agents abroad. They're going to tell you they have work, they have, approved jobs, yada, 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 inna lakh rupiya sanu la ke de diyo, right? I don't know if they do your work, if they don't do your work. What the AIPP is there, it's a provincial program, okay, that is in collaboration with the federal government. It is LMIA exempted, and what is required is that the province themselves must nominate the employer, okay? Right. So the employer has to get internal clarification or certification from the AIPP program, and it will be a certificate indicating that this employer is allowed to hire X amount of employees. And there is a guideline they need to follow. Each of the employers will have to independently interview you, okay? They have to show that they've done steps to follow it to ensure that you are the immigrant required to fulfill their labor shortage in their specific business and province, okay? So my advice will be ensure that whoever you're working with has clarification from the province themselves. If anybody says, I have a valid job offer, either an LMIA or even through the AIPP, that means they have a file number. And that file number, look him in Harwa Kendra, mere engine ne akhya ke tusi onu phone nahi kar sakte. Tusi ES phone nahi kar sakte. Tusi AIPP wale phone nahi kar sakte. That is not true. These are public institutions. Anybody has the right. These file numbers are issued publicly, okay? You have the right to call and say, did your agency issue this document? And they will tell you.
LMIA ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕਿਤੋਂ ਤੇ LMIA ਨੰਬਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਈਲ ਨੰਬਰ you can check ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਏਜੰਟ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਕਹੂਗਾ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ because you don't know ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਹਨਾ and the next question ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
the genuine person has nothing to hide. That's what I always say. That's the way I practice law. I have nothing to hide from my clients, and I don't believe any legal professional should ever have anything to hide from their clients.
University of Winnipeg ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ?
Excellent university. It's one of the biggest universities in the province of Manitoba. Breakdown from Manitoba. Manitoba is a connecting province to the province of Ontario. It's an up-and-coming province, low population, huge on the Indigenous people, and they have great PNP programs for individuals who complete their studies, work, and reside in the province of Manitoba. So yes.
Social service course कितना है? Social service work course.
To become a social worker, you mean? Like to become a social worker? I believe that's also an in-demand occupation under the new interim pathway. So I can also suggest that social workers may be a future trend in Canada, right? They're also in the vulnerable sector. They are frontline workers. They assist with the vulnerable people in Canada. I can't see it being a bad program. The jobs are government. Government is the one who hires. Government loves to hire immigrants as well to fulfill their shortages. And if you are going to be a social worker, again, I suggest look away from the major provinces. Look away from the major cities.
करियो कि ओंटारियो च नहीं आना चाहिए फिर क्योंकि आपा कह रहे हैं कि
तुसी ओंटारियो ना राइट मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि तुसी इथे ना आ जान या ओंटारियो खराब हैगा I love the province of Ontario. This is where I live. I mean, you also live here as well. It's not like we have anything against the province of Ontario. We love the province of Ontario. What I'm advising for your better future is that Ontario has become saturated, right? There is not a whole lot of jobs available. Even when applying for labor market impact assessments and these things, Ontario has a sufficient amount of population, right? What I'm just advising is that you may have more opportunities. There may be more opportunities available for permanent residency, for job creation, purchasing a new home, purchasing property, and these types of things. Because as of right now, the major provinces of Canada, and I'm going to just quote, BC and Ontario, property is very expensive. Cost of living is very expensive. Becoming permanent residents here in
COVID the time में 3 times बढ़ गई देखो.
तो permanent residency lately under the express entry system and all that has become a lot more harder, right? Whereas the provinces outside the major cities, outside the major provinces of Canada, they have started their own PNP programs for individuals who have come there from the get-go, right? See, it's very hard. Agar tusi ithe Ontario vich land ho jande ho and you complete your studies in Ontario, tusi ithe sara kuch padhai karde ho, it becomes tusi apne phra nu bhi puch sakte ho, it becomes very difficult. Now PNP Manitoba the chal raha ki main utte jaake kaam kar launga ek saal mein. How do you find a job now in Manitoba? You don't know anybody in Manitoba.
Right.
You don't have a network now in Manitoba. The network you built here over the last 3, 4, 5 years in Ontario. If you land in Manitoba, you're going to brush arms with Manitobans. You're going to with the people in Manitoba. You're going to meet teachers. In that province, it'll be easy for you to navigate the employment sector in Manitoba.
So, yeah.
No, and onwarding yourself to a permanent residency, right?
ये मैंने कुछ नहीं पता. मैं बहुत confused हूँ. मैंने कुछ पता नहीं लग रहा कि मैं what kind of course, which province should I choose? So ਆਪਾਂ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ course अगर ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ medical ਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ medical ਦੇ related choose ਕਰੋ, right? And province ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪੇ decide ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ Ontario ਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ, right? जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी है जी ओंटारियो च ज्यादा है पर पीआर वगैरह सौखी अटलांटिक प्रोविंस वगैरह च जिथे तक ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ राइट आई है
well देखो पहली this isn't something that anybody right you have to sit down and you have to think about these things yourself. I mean, this isn't something that anybody can sit down and really make for you. We can only give you guidance, that's all.
Okay, how is Niagara College and what is the future of hospitality industry?
You want to ask me today? Hospitality industry is almost on its way out, right? I mean, hotels are suffering. Anything in hospitality, food, beverage. I mean, these are businesses that I think any entrepreneur is going to think about in the near future, right? So I mean, look, is it a good field? I can't say it's not, but can I say that that's the future given today's circumstances? No, I wouldn't say that.
चीप कॉलेज कोई मतलब चीप इन द सेंस की कोई फीस घट होए जिथे गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज होए
You can go to the cheapest of the cheapest college, right, and get nothing out of it. You can go to the most expensive college, right? Look, there are so many cheap colleges. I'm not going to take anybody's individual names, right? But like I said in the beginning, and we spoke about this, I think, in our video as well. And I'm going to tell you guys again, please tune into our channel when you see our video come up, both our channels.
yeah.
You're gonna see that there's nothing I can really advise. But what I'm telling you all, if you invest your time in your education now, it's not just about getting to Canada. Anybody, right, that coming here, although ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆਉਣ ਲਈ is the hardest thing to do. Maybe, lekin actually the real work starts after you touch the ground. Once you touch the ground in Canada, that's when the real work starts. Kyunki ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਹੋ, ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, right? ਤੁਹਾਡਾ course खत्म हो गया, work permit नहीं मिलता या मिलता. What are you going to do for permanent residency? These are the things. ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ इतना पैसा भी खर्च ਕੀਤਾ, बाकी वाले भी कह रहे हैं कि ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, घर वाले कह रहे हैं फोन करके कह रहे हैं कि ਤੁਹਾਡਾ PR नहीं होया और H नहीं होया, क्यों नहीं होया, right? So the problem is not just really getting to Canada. Yes, that is a part of the hurdle. But once you overcome that, what are you going to do next, right? So that's why, in my opinion, don't think what is the cheapest college, think what is the best route to permanent residency, and think of that before you touch Canada's soil.
Right. And Humber or Centennial, keda choose kariye? If we have two options, which one?
Depends on what course you want to do. Both colleges are good colleges. Like I said, I'm going to tell you, I'm an alumnus from Humber. I love the school. I love the programs that they offered. I love the education that I got from there. But again, both of them are good schools. Okay, both of them offered a wide range of different programs. Right? A lot of times it depends on which program you're going into. One school may have a better for a specific program over the other.
Arts like koi arts stream like koi courses to suggest karo?
There are lots of courses in the arts, in the general arts, the the arts and sciences, communications. Like arts is a very general term. When you speak in the arts, right? Like bachelors of arts, bachelors in communications, bachelors in depending on what types of sciences, right? So the arts is a very general term when you speak about education, right? So I wouldn't really be able to advise how do I speak to arts. Arts is a very general term, and many different programs revolve around that.
What difference does percentage put on your study visa?
Well, it shows your intent, right? See, when applying for study visas, the major thing that you have to satisfy a few things to the option. Number one is your economical establishment in the country that you're coming from. Number two, see, I've been a professor. I used to teach immigration law. So how I used to explain to my students, you have to show the pull and push factors. What is going to encourage you to study and what is going to pull you back to your home country, right? Immigration law has something called dual intent. The Immigration Refugee Protection Act has an element called dual intention. So it's stupid because at the time you apply for your visa, you must satisfy an officer that you will return to your country of residence and that you have a genuine intent to study. So by having a good percentage, it just shows that you have a genuine intent to be a good student, right? If your percentage is on the lower side, that determines your intent to study.
So Kashyap Mittal is currently studying in college in Montreal, and should I change college as we don't know what will be happening and my first semester haven't completed yet? Because Quebec government ने 10 कॉलेज बिल्कुल उन्होंने बोलता है कि आप उन्होंने वीजा नहीं दे रहे, रोकता है सब, क्योंकि उत्थे दी गवर्नमेंट तो तुहानू पता ही है, right? So he's asking that should I change or not?
Well, look, if you are already in a designated college, right, and you complete your program, you're still going to be entitled to the benefits of that program, right? I'm not sure if you came under the student, the SPP program, if you're from India and you've come under the student partnership program, you're not supposed to be changing colleges. You're not supposed to have a gap in your studies, right? So be very careful before you're making your decisions that you're making the right decision, okay? You don't want any gap in your study, so you don't want to have to change midway and then you're out of school for next 6 months, and that can
He can
affect.
just call. He can just call you and ask, right? Per suggestion, ask that.
It's a case specific question. Best thing is to tune into my video, take my information, and
Right.
call me.
And what is the process for person below age of 18 if he's coming on study visa?
Below 18, 1-8?
Yeah.
So back. Okay, you're back. So if you're below 18, that means you haven't completed college, or are you? India ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ 18 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਲਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਾਈ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੈ
18 ਸਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਹਾਈ ਸਕੂਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ 12th ਗ੍ਰੇਡ ਤੱਕ ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਵੀ ਗੋ ਟੂ ਕਾਲਜ
ਤੇ 18 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਾਲਜ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ
ਇਹ ਕੋਈ 18 ਚ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ 19 ਚ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ
ਤੇ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ 18 less than 18 that means you're still in high school, correct?
Yeah.
You can even come to Canada and join a high school.
We just need one thing. ਸਾਨੂੰ custodial forms ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ if you are coming before 18.
Correct. You need the custodial form that's like, see, either the college or the high school must guarantee that they're going to be your custodian, or you have a custodian already ready in Canada, either a family member or somebody who's going to care for the child.
Right. ਮੈਂ ਵੀ 18 ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਮੈਂ ਆਇਆ 18 ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸੀ ਬਟ ਮੈਂ ਅਪਲਾਈ 18 ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ custodian forms ਲਾਏ ਸੀ
Yeah, so your college would have had to take your custodianship.
Yeah, commercially ਕੋਈ course commerce stream like ਕੋਈ course.
In commerce, there's so many programs for commerce, right? Business commerce and all of that, tons and tons of programs all over the country. I can tell you, probably what we need less are commerce graduates. Their commerce graduates come by the dozens, right? But for immigrants and international students, again, gear yourself towards the healthcare. That is going to be the future. Gear yourself towards teaching, something like that. But I mean, if commerce is what you're interested in, I'm not going to say it's a bad program. It is a great program, but I can tell you almost every second graduate graduates with a commerce degree.
So what effect does
so don't for sorry, one thing that I didn't India every second person is born an IT student, you would suggest, at least I would. IT is highly demand. I mean, that's totally slipped my mind. IT is highly another that's another Pakistani should think about anywhere you are in the world. Sorry, I've been ranting about healthcare, but IT is another one.
IT so I ਕੋਈ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਿਹਾ ਜਸ਼ਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਿਹਾ ਨੋਨ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਸਟਰੀਮ ਲਈ ਕੋਰਸ ਸੋ IT ਚ ਜਾਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ IT ਠੀਕ ਹੈ right?
Yeah, if you want to be outside the medical area, go into IT. IT is a big one. The web developers, graphic designers, all of these people are the ones who are highly in demand worldwide, not just Canada, all over the world. And I mean, this pandemic and us, we've all learned one thing, that we all have to become digital. I'm probably the least savvy where it comes to computers, just given my background in studying, like, the laws all my life. We never really had the need for computers, but now everybody is getting technical. Everyone is going towards the technical side of things. So yes, that is actually a very good follow. Healthcare, IT, technical.
ਆਪਣਾ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੌਖੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਸੌਖੀ ਆ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਦਾ ਆਨਸਰ ਦਿਓ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਦਊਂਗਾ
ਯਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੀ ਟਰਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
ਹੁਣ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਾਰਦੇ, ਹੁਣ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਬਟ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਈਜ਼ੀ ਆ।
Can I, you know what I tell everybody though? Studying depends on the student. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਦੇਸ਼ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, it can be easy, it can be hard. It all depends on you. You are the student. The student is, ਜੈਸਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਧੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਗਧਾ ਪਿਲਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ, right? ਤੇ it's the same thing with the student. You cannot, studying and educating, you get what you take from it. Teachers, I think in every country, and I've been on both sides. I've been a student, I've been a professor, right? The professor can only do as much as the student wants to take back from you. And I can tell you, being a professor in a classroom, I know the students who are retaining the knowledge and want more out of it. And I know the students who are here to get that piece of paper and move on. Do you get what I mean? So it all depends on you. That's how I look at that.
So the question here was something related to PCC. Can we apply? Can we apply without PCC?
Can you apply without
PCC from Canada on this program, PR program, jada pathway program ਉਹਦੇ ਚ?
there? Okay.
Nothing.
Again, in our video, we discuss this in detail and explain what the relevance of the PCC is. Again, join my YouTube channel, which is Let's Talk Immigration, my friend's YouTube channel as well. Yeah. The whole video is there, and we
YouTube ਤੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ PCC ਵਗੈਰਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦਾ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਆਪਾਂ। ਐਂਡ ਕੁਝ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਗਰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਮਿਸ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਵਿੱਚ, ਰਾਈਟ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੌਰੀ, ਮੈਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਮਿਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੇ, ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਡਬਲ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, ਰਿਪੀਟ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, ਮੈਂ ਚੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨਵੇਂ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਕਰਾਂ। And
I am going to say one thing. The program is unfolding May 6th. कोई भी legal practitioner professional को नहीं कह सकता that this and this is exactly how it's going to be. I'm going by the general PR guidelines. I have never seen a permanent resident application process without a PCC. I have never seen it done without, like under the economic category, without an English language test. But that is in the requirement. They are telling you must be. See, the other reason why I'm saying to get a criminal record check is they're saying that you cannot be inadmissible at the time of application. And one of the admissibility requirements is to have no criminal record. So I'm going by the guidelines. Now, what's going to exactly be requested at the time of application, May 6th, and I do intend on having a video up on my channel, Let's Talk Immigration, explaining exactly what the program is about after May 6th.
ਸੋ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਰੀ ਆ, ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਹੈ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਦੇ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ, ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ, ਐਨੀਥਿੰਗ, ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਫਿਊਜੀ ਦੀ ਫਾਈਲ ਲਾਣੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਡਿਪੋਰਟੇਸ਼ਨ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਚ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਿਸਟ ਨੇ, ਐਂਡ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਸਟੋਰੀਜ਼ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਨੰਬਰ ਵੀ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਦੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗੀ, ਐਂਡ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ WhatsApp ਤੇ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਨੰਬਰ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ WhatsApp ਤੇ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਅਗਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰਨਾ, ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਲ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਈਮੇਲ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਮੈਂ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਪੋਸਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ, ਉਹ ਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗੀ। ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਰਾਈਟ?
Yes, for sure.
Can we apply for PGWP without completion letter of study? No.
PGWP is postgraduate work permit. That is the title of the program. You have to successfully complete a educational program that meets the criteria of the PGWPP, which is why I said, and I'm going to say it again, be very careful of the institution that you're selecting prior to coming to Canada.
So, ohi वापस question आया, sir, without police clearance from Canada, can I lodge my file in new PR program? ਤੇ ਹਜੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਪੈਸਿਫਿਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇਖ ਲਿਓ, ਮੈਂ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਪੋਸਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੂਰੀ ਪਾਥਵੇ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਥਵੇ ਆਇਆ, ਜਿਹੜਾ PR ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਆਇਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਪੂਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਚ, ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਐਂਡ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਓ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਫਿਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਹੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਇੱਕ ਮਿਸਿਸਾਗਾ ਚ ਮਾਲਟਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਫਿਸ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਾਲਟਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਲਾਗੇ ਦੋ ਪਲਾਜ਼ੇ ਨੇ, ਇੱਕ ਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਫਿਸ ਹੈ, 213 ਯੂਨਿਟ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗਾ, ਮੈਂ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਪਾ ਦੂੰਗਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਆਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ, ਐਂਡ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਲੰਡਨ ਚ ਵੀ ਆਫਿਸ ਹੈਗਾ।
ਅਸੀਂ ਲੰਡਨ ਆਂਟੈਰੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨਾ, ਆਕਸਫੋਰਡ ਰੋਡ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ 1193 ਲੰਡਨ ਆਂਟੈਰੀਓ, ਐਂਡ ਯੈਸ booking by appointment only due to the COVID-19, and we're trying to do as many virtual consultations as possible.
Okay, so ਤੁਸੀਂ appointment ਲੈ ਲਓ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ, and then you can come, or virtually ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਤੇ last question, my mama ji adopt me, I will be able to come to study visa? ਅਗਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮਾਮਾ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਓ ਅਡਾਪਟ ਕਰ ਲੈਣ ਤੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਕੁਝ?
अगर वो दोनों adopt कर देना, that's a case specific question. I need to know a lot more about you. Again, please give me a call, book a consultation, and we can talk about that and more. But you don't need anybody to adopt you to come under a student visa. Adoption only takes place if you're coming to be sponsored as a permanent resident.
And the thing is, मैं एक चीज ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦਾ, immigration consultant नहीं ਹੈਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਸ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ immigration ਮਤਲਬ law ਦੇ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਵੀ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ deportation ਵਗੈਰਾ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ, ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰੋ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ। ਅਗਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲ ਗਿਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਕੇ, ਐਂਡ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੀ। ਮੇਰੀ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ, ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੀਆਰ ਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੀਆਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਸੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ, ਐਂਡ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਆ ਪਿਛਲਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਆ, ਦੇਖ ਲਓ 15 ਜਾਂ 15 ਇਅਰਸ ਦਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਆ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ, ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰੋ ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਰੀ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੰਸਲਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ। ਤੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਲਈ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਐਂਡ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਲਾਈਵ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ, ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੜੀ ਛੇਤੀ ਲਾਈਵ ਅਗੇਨ ਵੀ ਵਿਲ ਕਮ ਲਾਈਵ, ਐਂਡ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਹੁਤ ਛੇਤੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਦੋਨੋਂ YouTube ਚੈਨਲਸ ਤੇ। ਅਮੀਰ ਅਖਤਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਆਉਗੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਆਉਗੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਵੀ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਪੋਸਟ ਕਰ ਦਾਂਗਾ ਅੱਗੇ 1-2 ਵੀਡੀਓ ਚ ਸਾਰੀ ਡਿਟੇਲਸ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ। So
thank you very much, sir.
Thank you to you too, and
your questions. It was great. It was a pleasure, and hopefully we'll be doing these sessions again. And please, just like my friend has said, tune into both our channels. Ours is just starting. Let's Talk Immigration, and you already know my friend's channel as well.
right. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
You too. You too. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.